want to thank our community for their love, support, participation in the prayers for the celebration of the FPU Center for Community Transformation's 10th anniversary, where we hosted a beautiful banquet on Thursday, September 22nd at the brand new FPU Culture and Arts Center. We were joined by colleagues, donors, partners, and supporters of our work. This wonderful night featured music, food, fun, and storytelling, celebrating 10 years of God's work and accomplishments by the CCT. Executive Director Dr. Randy White welcomed almost 200 guests and kicked off the celebration with words of encouragement for why the work of the CCT matters to God, to FPU, Fresno Clovis, and the Central Valley, or as we commonly say, in the Central Valley as it is in heaven. FPU's new president, Dr. Andre Stevens, gave words of thankfulness for the CCT and prayed over the evening. Associate Director Carlos Huerta introduced a video comprised of statements by city leaders about the role they see the CCT playing in the city. The role of gathering, equipping, training, and giving tangible hopes to those in the margins. From there, we provided a historical context of accomplishments, metrics, and stories of change for each of CCT's initiatives. This included 10 years of impact through CCT's Social Enterprise Initiative, where CCT has taken $178,000 and invested that into 64 social enterprises who have now generated more than $5 million in revenue, hiring 122 people, many with barriers to employment. This was capped by the inspiring interview with Ashley Platt, 2022 Spark Tank winner.
I spent 8 years of my adult life, which is most of it, in prison. And so I know the struggles that come along with being released and not having the resources. I want to show people that it's possible to change their life and mentor them and show them that it's possible and that you can do it.
She has found hope and healing and restoration through second chances. Her social enterprise idea to provide a thrift store model which hires people like her who are transitioning out of prison. We featured the CCT's micro-entrepreneurship initiative, Launch Central Valley, which has launched 52 of the first 76 businesses it has worked with. We celebrated the work of Virtue Plumbing and Benny Ruiz, as well as Keisha Rajani, owner of Curated Giftables. Keisha put together a beautiful gift package, which was gifted to one lucky winner at each table that found a golden ticket under their plate. This gift included multiple gifts from various social enterprises CCT has supported and invested in over the years. We celebrated the powerful impact of CCT's Faith and Finances work, an initiative to empower low-income residents to avoid predatory lending and take control of their own finances. This work sets up churches as financial literacy hubs, going beyond traditional charity work that is often asked of the church. CCT highlighted their partnership with 96 churches, 22 community benefit organizations, and 5 Section 8 community centers in our valley. We heard the story of Erika, a single mom of 5 children who, after a few weeks in her course, quickly learned that the daily trips to a corner store for snacks for her children robbed her of the ability to save and afford the down payment of her dream manufactured home. Now, almost 3 years later, Erika is well on her way to achieving her dream of leaving Section 8 housing and purchasing her own home. We celebrated the Certificado program, a program designed for Spanish-speaking church leaders. Of the 600 churches in Fresno, more than 1/3 of them are Spanish-speaking. And to date, CCT has trained 121 leaders in 50 churches in 17 cities throughout the Central Valley. We heard the story of Pastora Sara Alvarado, having never completed grade school. She often felt that a college education was out of reach, but FPU and CCT bridged that for her, and she left equipped and confident enough to design training and resourcing for more than 75 couples who attended her marriage training that focused on the current pressures that couples are facing in their community. We also celebrated the partnership between CCT and the City of Fresno through the Mayor's Faith-Based Partnership Cabinet that the CCT convenes. This highlighted multiple joint projects, including the Mayor's Beautify Fresno initiative that has now removed more than 1 million pounds of trash from the streets of our city. We then debuted Media Develop for the Lilly Foundation's National Conference in October 2022, where CCT will be one of 3 featured models out of the 110 Lilly-funded centers across the U.S. This video featured the transformational work of Pastora Delfina Vasquez and Pastora Gaina Flores, who have benefited from many of CCT's programs.
Pastora Gaina and Pastora Delfina are here tonight. Would you stand so we can say thank you?
Then, keynote speaker Jake Soberall, co-founder and CEO of Bitwise Industries, moved the hearts of those in the audience when he attributed the origins of his work to launch Bitwise Industries to that of Dr. Randy White, the CCT, and the behind-the-scenes impact of CCT to shape the landscape of Fresno from one in decline to one of hope. And finally, the biggest announcement of the night was made by Dr. Randy White.
Get to know Carlos, because tonight we are happy to announce. Can I get a drum roll on your tables? Yeah. All right. We're happy to announce that Carlos is in the final stages of being appointed as the next executive director of the Center for Community Transformation.
The room stood and applauded the work of Dr. White for the last 10 years at CCT and decades more before that, committed to pursuing the well-being of the Central Valley. Carlos Huerta, the new executive director at CCT, then announced his vision and aspirations for the CCT's impact over the next 10 years. This included training 400 new Spanish-speaking pastors and leaders in a certificado program in community transformation strategies. It included investing in 50 new social enterprises in the Valley to address specific community issues, as well as supporting 800 new business ideas from idea phase to startup, training 600 faith and finances facilitators to address the payday lending issue in our city, and finally, it was announced the development of a training hub for existing nonprofit leaders to build their capacity for sustainability, impact, and service based on the feedback from our local community. We want to thank you, our faithful partners, our friends, and family, for supporting our commitment to God's work. We invite you to imagine with us a more hopeful Central Valley where all families thrive. We also encourage you to pray for the road ahead of us. And finally, we ask for your help by donating to the work of the CCT as we pursue shalom in the Central Valley as it is in heaven. Thank you.